Myself, Mr. Manoj Kumar, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Education, Jamshedpur Cooperative College. In the earlier classes, we discussed on the various concepts of inclusion. And now we will discuss on the topic education for all. Within that, the issues of inclusion has been raised and framed uh, within the context of international declarations under United Nations Organization agenda during the Jamaican declarations way back in 1990. The Salamanca statement on the principles, policies, and practices drive attentions all over the world, which provides uh, a framework thinking about how to move uh, on policy and practices forward. When we come across the various frameworks, declarations, and the discourses across the world levels, the United Nations Organization has played a pivotal role for making education for all a reality. Right from the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, 1989, to the Jamaican Conference on World Convention on education for all, to the Salamanca Statement on the framework of action, and which provides uh, policies and practices for a framework to be action. Thereafter, the World Education Forum forms statements on actions taken, which has been framed in the Senegal capital Dakar way back in 2000, where education for all has been taken for granted, and whatever the policies and practices has been and check out or framed, that has been implemented across the globe. The member countries tries to bring various policies to bring education for all. Most of the marginalized section of the society, the children from the marginalized section of the society, and the girl's child has also been included. Up to the 2005, the United Nations Convention on the People with Disability, which promotes the rights of the disability of the people, and streaming the disability towards development. So we see that there are so many conventions, declarations under the United Nations that paves the way for education for all movement. In India too, the inception of the Right to Education Act also played a pivotal role, which is highlighted the 0% rejection. Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan has made a tremendous success for the zero rejection policies of the government of India. So we see that the inclusion agenda can be seen all over the world in a wider perspective of the whole education for all movement. In taking an inclusive approach, we never forget the special needs of the children with disability. We also cannot not only undertake the needs of the children with disability, but also the children who are from the disadvantaged section of the society, or from the weaker section of the society, or the children from the entrepreneurial section of society, girls child. So the whole EFA movement, education for all movement, uh, has accommodated all the children across the various typologies. So the most effective means of uh, combating combating discrimination attitude, uh, building uh, uh, building an inclusive society, and to achieve the goal of education for all. So, so the plethora of conventions or at the world level under the United Nations Organization's agenda, which are binding to the member countries to fulfill the uh, goal of education for all by the 2005, which are undertaken under the education world education forum for action, which was uh, done in the year 2000. So we see that at the global, not only at global level, the member countries also play a pivotal role to make uh, the education for all in reality. So we see that education for all movement paves to paves in the way of inclusiveness in the education system, not only in the developed country or developing country, but most of the least developed nation also introduce so many policies and practices to make the education for all a success. So education for all means uh, ensuring uh, that all children gets free and compulsory education at the elementary level, at the basic level, the assessing they can assess the basic education of good quality. this this also implies creating a right kind of environment for those children who are disabled, who are underprivileged, or disadvantaged section of the society, girl child, child laborers, to bring under the one umbrella of education, so that they can uh, uh, effectively develop their capacity at the optimum level. The approach should be also friendly and inclusive. The school or educations include or welcome or embraces various categories of students, so that the real goal of education for all can be achieved. Gender sensitivity and the sensitivity towards those children with special needs must be undertaken by not only at the local level, not only at the national level, but also at the international level, so that the education for all fulfills its desired result. The development of such child-friendly environment uh, uh, is an essential part for the overall efforts uh, of the countries to make the entire education for all movement uh, success. So we see that education for all movement not only at the international level, at the international discourse, plays a pivotal role for the member countries to realize uh, by enacting various acts so that they get the fair chances to live with dignity, to develop with their optimum level, and they can also help in the international camaraderies. They can also help in nation building. So, education for all plays a very education for all um, uh, makes the entire developments inclusive. So the nation can be known when all the people, all type of children uh, come under the uh, one one umbrella of educations. They all the people get the education. All the children get education, so that the nation and international can develop in the right direction. So this is all about education for all, which is the subunit of unit 1, and whatever the question generally asked in objective questions may be in the form of the various conventions. For example, the Salamanca Convention, Jamaican Conference. When was the Jamaican Conference was held? What are the basic premises on which the conference declaration has been made? Whether it is a Salamanca statement, or it may be what the World Education Forum action plans 2000. So there are so many questions may be asked in objective form. To be prepared for such type of questions. If you have any doubts, share your comments. Thank you.